Alright, so show of hands, who has ever been to a Major League Baseball game? And who thought it was really, really boring and really, really long? Alright, well, I'm into baseball and I love to go to baseball games and I actually like when they're longer. And I'm talking about why the pace of play rule should not have been put in effect. I believe that it compromises the history of the game. And I don't really like the limits that it puts on the game, like there's certain rules now. And also, many players didn't actually agree with the rule, so I'm just kind of backing them up. This is the president of the Braves organization, John Schuerholz. He said, in my 49th year, I've yet to have a fan tell me, a real fan, that they think our game is too slow. I'm a real fan, and I really like when they go into extra innings and play more. So the tradition of the history of the MLB, it's been going on for 146 years. That's according to all the baseball records. I got that from MLB.com. The longest game ever played was between the Brewers and the White Sox, and it lasted 8 hours, 8 hours and 6 minutes, and that was in 1984. It was 25 innings. There was actually no ties in baseball, like no mandatory like tie rule until this year, but extra innings. So there's actually been a time limit like put into place in the baseball game. It's 2 hours and 25 minutes. And in my personal experience, I go to a lot of Reds games. And this year I went to Reds Nationals game, and it went to 12 innings, and I saw a walk-off base hit by Jay Bruce. And honestly, that's what I like to see. I think the game lasted around 3 hours, but that's what I like to go to baseball. It's free baseball. But the exception to that rule is the postseason and the World Series, of course. So in addition to these rules, if the rules aren't followed by the players, they can get fined. Fox Sports released an article saying that a player could get fined $100 to $500 per offense. So say David Ortiz doesn't follow the rules, he's going to get fined big money. I mean, not really big money for them, but big money for us. So there are limitations on the game, like I said, rules put into place. The batter's box rule, the pitcher's time limit. There's actually a mascot and entertainment rule. So first, the batter's box rule. David Ortiz explains, this game has been going on for 100 years. It's the nature of the game. I don't care who you are, you're not going to change it. That's our nature. Pitch comes through, you come out of the box, you go back in it. So what he's explaining here is, like David Ortiz, he's a very old hitter. He's been in the league for a long time. What he does after each pitch, he goes around, walks around, kind of regroups, then steps back in the batter's box. Well, now the batter has only 40 seconds to go in the box. And the actual rule is released by ESPN. Hitters have to keep a toe in the batter's box. The umpire points fingers between inning, and they have to abide by this or they can get fined. All right, the time limits for pitchers. So the pitcher between pitches has 30 seconds. That's also listed in the rules through Fox Sports or Yahoo Sports. Relief pitchers. This is a big rule. So before relief pitchers could walk out, like have you ever seen Mariano Rivera walk from center field wall all the way to the pitcher's mound and get warmed up and the fans cheer? It's kind of an honor thing. Well, now they only have 2 minutes and 25 seconds to do that. They usually had 8 pitches or whenever they're ready. So I feel like that's kind of a bad move for the game. And also there would be a play clock like shown up somewhere in the stadium to show that the time, so the umpires can enforce it. The mascot limitations, this is also including promotions and ads that go on during the game. So the mascots only have 40 seconds to do whatever the thing. So the Milwaukee Brewers, the Boston Red Sox have a Jolly Green Giant kind of guy, and he runs around the stadium, acts silly, like kind of energizes the fans. It used to be the time limit was 2 minutes 25 seconds, or whenever the inning went on, but now it's only 40 seconds, so they have to stop what they're doing. MLB.com reports that this rule is for all entertainment, including promotions as well. So that means if something's playing on the Jumbotron, the ad has to be shut off immediately at 40 seconds. All right, so the players that disagree and that have spoken about it, the strongest one is David Ortiz. He's a really strong hater of the rule. And Mike Followitz, whatever, is an unbiased pitcher who kind of argues for both sides. David Ortiz is the guy on the left and Mike's the guy on the right. So David Ortiz, he's a league veteran like I told you. In an interview with USA Sports, he said that there'd be too much pressure put on the player to abide by the time limit and kind of takes away from him focusing on the game. He just says, just let me hit. So Mike, he's a pitcher for the Atlanta Braves. He's a relief pitcher. And he says, sometimes I get a little too amped up. I've been told by previous coaches to take a few deep breaths in between pitches. Well, that's his routine. He goes around the mound, steps behind, plays with the rosin bag, which is dries his hands out. But now he only has 30 seconds to do so. And that kind of messes up his routine, and it could affect other pitchers as well. So in conclusion, the game has only been shortened on an average of 8.5 minutes. So I don't think that time limit should be one of the big reasons why they changed the rule. And as a true fan of baseball, I really like to watch long games. And I really do believe that it takes away from the tradition of baseball, adding all the limits and rules. And I think that baseball should have been more conscientious of what the players actually got.